where shadows lie. Here they find a brighter sky. Every step, every mile, they're reaching for the American style. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. Factories hum with a steady grace, ideas born in this boundless space. A light bulb flash, a towering steel in every corner. The promise feels real. From the ground to the stars, we're built on dreams, we're raising bars. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for.
Down by the lot near the old cafe, where the sun fries cars all night and day, there's a wild crew doing what they do. Yeah, you know them, the parking lot crew. Refugees with moves so tight, waving cars in left and right. 10 ways to say, yo, park that straight. 12 for bro, you're 20 late. Neanderthals in safety vests, snack in hand, but doing their best. One grunted loud, broke out in a jig. Turns out he just wants a parking gig. Canines bark like they run the block. Chased a drone down, beat the clock. One gave change with a tail wag spin. That dog's got tips and a toothy grin. Who you gonna call when the lot gets loud? Parking cones up and they're drawing a crowd. Whistles blow and the scooters fly. It's the parking crew and the riding high. From the streets of town to the lot bazaar, they'll guard your ride like a superstar. Yeah, from Josie streets to America, it's the funky, fearless parking lot crew. Car guard shout near the garbage bin. Who parks askew? You let them in. They blow their whistles in perfect time, like a backup band with a traffic sign. Then here comes Wyatt, the colonel boss. Duct tape boots and a look that's sauce. She rides a scooter with flashing beams, salutes pigeons, yells at ice cream. Men, dogs, apes from a line. No dents, no scrapes, no overtime. If they park like chaos, made a plan. Fight them twice and be the man. Who's got the beat in a vested hat? Parking legends funky like that. Guard your eye with soul and flair, and a hi-fi breeze in the summer air. From this line here to America, it's the wild, proud parking lot crew.
as you have said with regards to the program of a refugee, when you look at it, it's race-based. Firstly, you must be a white South African, and secondly, you must be an Afrikaner. So it's a race-based refugee program. It's not in line with the Geneva Convention that someone to qualify to be a refugee should be persecuted, should be running from a war, and all those. This is just a race-based policy position. So,
and there you have it for the world's dumbest minister. The world's dumbest minister. It is not a race-based policy. I'm sorry, Mr. Lamola, you continually show your arrogance, your ignorance, and your stupidity. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing for anybody who listens. If Christiane Amanpour was a genuine journalist, then this wouldn't even be a conversation of discussion. We wouldn't even be talking about this, but she's not a legitimate journalist. She didn't even question or push back about this when it's so obvious that the U.S. Embassy website clearly states that this is a program for racial minorities in South Africa. The fact that Christiane Amanpour and CNN have an issue with that shows they're not legitimate media outlets. I report things I don't agree with. I report things that Trump does I don't agree with. I report things that people that say things I don't agree with, but that's what a true journalist does. This is just pure propaganda by CNN, shameful on their part, absolutely disgusting and disgraceful what they've pulled off here. They are shameful people and they should be exposed for what they've done. This is not an effort to get the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the same man who recently claimed that the United States president was a white supremacist.
The foreign minister had to say when we asked him about it.
Yes, let's hear what the foreign minister had to say when you asked him about it. Let's just talk about that. So let's just get to that. Yeah, here we go. This is Ronald Lamola on misinformation, white genocide, the CNN hack piece that I was asked to participate in and it was cut out, which is fine with me.
It's a fear-mongering to pursue the agenda of white supremacy.
You think Trump is pursuing a white supremacist agenda?
Yes, I think so. With the program to take the white Afrikaners from South Africa.
It's not a program to take white Afrikaners from South Africa. He's a liar. He's lying.
Okay. It's a clear program to back up the issue of white supremacy.
No. It's a clear propaganda psychological operation on the part of the ANC to convince people that it's a racist program when it's simply not true. And of course, Donnie O'Sullivan knows better. I informed Mr. O'Sullivan when he interviewed me that you can find the information on the USMC website. Also, if a real journalist would take the time to actually find coloreds and Indians who've come over to prove that that's not the case, well, that would be nice. Yep.
And when you look at the Geneva Convention, they don't fit the definition of a refugee.
This guy actually says this with a straight face. They don't fit the definition of refugee. Au contraire, mon frère. They do meet the definition of refugee. Unfortunately, you don't know what the definition of refugee is because either you're dishonest, lazy, or functionally illiterate. It's one of those three things. One of those three things, folks. Once again, I will give you the language that comes from the so-called Geneva Convention he's talking about. There's more than one Geneva Convention, by the way. So here we go. This is what we're talking about. Lamola is referring to the 1951 Refugee Convention, which came after the horrific events of World War I and the expulsion of Germans from Eastern Europe. That's why this convention came about. And its 1967 protocol. These treaties define a refugee as someone with a well-founded fear of persecution for reasons of race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group. And by that definition, they do meet the standard for a refugee from South Africa. They fear racial persecution. They have legitimate fear. They don't have to prove the fear. They don't have to prove past persecution. They just have to prove legitimate fear. That is the standard. If you go to an interview or you're pre-screened and the Kenyans or the Amerikaners keep asking you about past persecution, yes, and they say, but I want to talk about my concerns. They say, no, that doesn't matter. It does matter. You tell them that the international standard and the Immigration Nationality Act of 1980 specifically states a legitimate, genuine fear of future persecution is your basis for refugee status. Make sure you make that point very clear, okay? Make sure you make that point very clear. Someone asked a question about when is refugee budget being approved. What refugee budget? You're talking about the funding that goes to the Department of State and Homeland Security to facilitate refugees coming to America? There is no budget. The budget has not been approved. We have no budget. We are working under a continuing resolution at current spending levels. The problem with that is the president suspended funding in January for 90 days. The funding's been lifted, so there's money there. There is money. And what is your point in asking that question? The only reason you would need to know whether the funding budget for the refugees has been restored is because you're concerned about refugee services once you arrive in America. because the budget doesn't affect anything else. Your flight isn't paid for out of the budget. Your flight is paid for by an interest-free loan from the International Organization of Migration, a United Nations agency. That's how you get your flight paid for. Your arrival here is taken care of. You arrive, you must then be facilitated to get where you need to go. That's where the money comes into play. So it has nothing to do with approving refugees. It has nothing to do. The companies that are currently working, as I've told people endlessly till I've turned blue in the face, the people that are providing refugee services in processing and pre-screening are the RSC, a subsidiary of Church World Services, and the Amerikaners. They are both paid under existing contract that's multi-year. It is not affected by this continuing resolution. All right, that money is already allocated. It's there. They will continue to process and screen people for the program, even when they get beyond 7,000. Take a deep breath, okay? The reason the ANC hates the race-based refugee program is because they hate competition. They hate the fact that the USA is taking away their targets. Maybe you're right. I don't know about that. Friend had a stroke last night at 8. No ambulance available. Children took him to the Far Eastern Hospital. Sat in a chair for hours and fell off a few times. My goodness. One doctor. Yeah, well, there you go. It's South Africa. Hello, a small question. For the interview, it mentions needing a copy of the email. Do you show it on my phone? Okay, you just define the question. If they need a copy, how are you going to give your phone away? First off, you can't take your phone in, so how could you show it to them? You're not allowed to take your electronics into the interview. That's what I've been told. So how can you give them a copy of that? Are you going to just surrender your phone to them? Say, here, just take my phone. Obviously, you must print out the copy. I mean, it seems self-explanatory to me anyway. Maybe I'm missing something. Do you know if people have started flying again? Yes, we know people have started flying again, Yuri, and I have cautioned people about saying when. I can tell you with 100% certainty that the program has resumed sending South Africans to America. And I will, in short order, confirm arrival of South Africans in America, and I won't tell you when that will be. Okay? All right? So stop worrying about that. The program is resumed. Just take me at my word because I'm never wrong. Or I'm never dishonest. Let's leave it at that. Maybe I can be wrong occasionally. There's 70 Rand super chat from Madeline. Thank you, Madeline. Appreciate that. Didn't see it come up on the screen. The clouds are gathering. Let's get those clouds going, folks. East Hospital's the worst. Ooh, that's terrible to hear, Tammy Lee Peterson. All right. What else I missed here? His body language screams defiance. Yes, it does scream defiance. Arrogance is what it screams. The Lamola questionnaire answers of that question, 3 of the above facts you mentioned. I'm not sure what you're saying, Rudolph. You did miss that. Yeah. Well, it's okay. MBLKTF. Okay. Thank you for your patience and not taking offense, because I didn't try to apply offense there. I was just trying to be straightforward. I will happily give you an interview when we're finally cleared to travel. We've been approved, and we will put out the lies. As such, we are a big family of color, so it's a lie. I know it's a lie, Flyboy, and thank you. And if you would come on camera, if I could get a colored family, an Indian family to come on camera so we can show the world once you're in America. Don't do that till you get here. I don't need the ANC stopping at the airport, okay? Once you've come to America, if you're a colored family, and you should be proudly colored. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a community that I promote. If you're a colored family or a colored individual coming over, and Indian, if you have the courage to come on camera, please contact me and get on my channel. That would be a major coup to destroy this propaganda. And I think at a minimum, unless you have concerns about family members left behind, at a minimum, it's something you owe. You know what I'm saying? Because you owe it that we have actually made this program available to all these people to disprove the lies that are being spread by Ronald Lamola, by the ANC, Fikile Mabalula, and Cyril Ramaphosa. And the Washington Post and the New York Times and all these others, CNN, we need to expose them for what they are. Why would one's case show under review and be blank? I have no idea what you mean by be blank, Andre Ehlers. That doesn't make any sense to me. What do you mean by blank? Just show your phone in security. Well, that's to get in the door, Khasigi, but maybe that's what the question is. Maybe that's what they're talking about. Oh, great. Someone's got dogs walking in front of my house. I can't stand barking dogs. You can show your phone at the gate. Okay, there you go. Got a call this week. Was told to wait to be contacted with a date for interview. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I called IOM and they advised me that they're no longer involved in booking flights. Well, IOM never booked your flight. Just chill. IOM never booked your flight. IOM never booked your flight. IOM funds the flight. The flights are booked by RSC. Now, why would you call IOM? That's interesting. You're going to get some apparatchik that doesn't know what they're talking about. Is there an age cutoff to join U.S. Marshals? Yes, there is. There's an age cutoff for everything. And the age limit is 37. You must be appointed before your 37th birthday. Veterans may be eligible for an age waiver if you're over 36. So I could get an age waiver, but otherwise you can't get one. Yep. Must be between 21 and 36 years of age to become a U.S. Marshal. Show them the gate, then switch off the phone and give it to them when it reaches the office. Okay. Whoops. We jumped ahead here. Thank you, Madeline, for the super chat. We went through the whole process, including medicals, got our approvals, and stayed 2 to 4 weeks to process. Can anyone shed some light? Shed some light on what, Bernadine de Koenig? You've just shed all the light in the world. You've done everything. You're just waiting for your final approval. So what light do you need? There are a few people that are stuck on review. We do not know what that means. You're not stuck. It just means that they're reviewing your case. They're reviewing thousands of cases. Flash drive, can't take electronics in. That's electronic. Somebody got a date and date arrived and it was postponed again. Okay, Francois, Peter say that's not even remotely useful to me. Some people had a date. Yeah, mistakes were made. What do you mean some people had a date? Are you telling me? And we know that from September 26 onward, people didn't fly until in the approaching time frame, no one has flown. So what do you mean some people had a date and was postponed again? Is someone had a date on Saturday it was postponed? Someone had a date today? Someone had a date tomorrow? Someone had a date next week? Your statement really doesn't help me. I can't address something like that. Please print out what you need and have copies, exactly. And that's the thing. Don't print one copy. Print 2 copies so you can retain one when you give it away. Okay? Can you take your phone? They just take it when you go in. Oh, you need to email to get. Yeah. Okay. They're okay to see it in your phone. Well, that's the place you went. But this is now being done in multiple locations by multiple people and multiple security companies. Okay? So it's being done in Cape Town. It's being done supposedly in Durban. We haven't got confirmation by its Heather interview there yet. Port Elizabeth, we've been told people book for now. We haven't got confirmation. We know it's being done in Joburg and Pretoria. Different people do different things in different places. Please just print out the damn message and listen to my advice. What is the harm in spending a few minutes finding someone to print this thing out for you? Just print it out. Just print it out. Why take a risk? Why drive 1,600 kilometers just to rely on your phone when the battery dies, your phone gets stolen? Think about this, folks. Use your brain. You're in South Africa. Phones get stolen all the time. Print the damn thing out, make multiple copies of it, okay? It's a simple task. And if someone's going to go, I don't have a printer. You know what? I have no empathy for you. Do you want to come to America? Are you a refugee? Then you'll find a way. Curiosity, how to know if emails from CIBS lit? Well, look at the email address. And if you have a way of looking at the header information, look at the header information. Okay. And then Rudolph Fonsale says, thank you for all the help and information. I got my approval letter. Without you, the stress would have been overbearing. Well, thank you for that. I'm glad to hear that, Rudolph. I'm glad that it helped. U.S. can't take people over if they don't have anywhere to house us. U.S. can't take people if we don't have anywhere to house us. I'm not sure what that statement means, but it's a self-evident one, so I don't understand. And Helen of Troy says, please print out copies, 100%. Sue says, I've definitely got to interview her. Yep. Okay, again, stop following the church world services, okay? They're a propaganda outlet that is angry that they're not making hundreds of millions of dollars by resettling people in this country. They're only doing what they're doing because they're contractually obligated to do it. The Episcopal Church's contract ran out. That's why they walked away. They're racist. Stop reading the church. Why are you listening to Church World Services? They're bumhurt. Their CEO is an ass. Oh, sorry, potty mouth. Their CEO is an ass. Stop reading it. What they're telling you is factually true, but it's disingenuous. They're not telling you that the program is continuing for South Africans. They're complaining because Afghans and thank you for your membership. They're complaining because Afghans and Congolese and Karens and not Karens as in I'm a Karen. No, Karens as in the ethnic group from Asia. Karens and Uyghurs aren't coming over anymore. Stop listening to Church World Service. I have exposed them as total scumbags over and over again. Stop listening to them. What pause? Tell me what pause you're talking about. What pause? There is no pause. Color has no role in it, Paul Doveton. It has no role. Unless you listen to the ANC and the Washington Post, the New York Times, and CNN. If I ever get to the States, I would like to become a volunteer in casework without refugees. Well, a lot of refugees do that, Marley. Whoops. A lot of refugees do that. Can you, at some stage, explain the U.S. Army ASVAB test? The ASVAB test is just not an intelligence test. It's an aptitude test. And so it's been accused for many years by woke leftists of being biased for men and for white people. So the reason I say it's biased for men and white people is because you get asked questions about things about carpentry. I don't remember. It's been 40 some years since I took the test. Things like carpentry and electronics and stuff like that. And the bias by the leftists, who are dumbasses, say that that's because, well, women and minorities don't do these things. Well, the problem is that we don't give a flying flip what you say about women and minorities. The bottom line is that people need to have that skill set to function in the army. We turn wrenches on tanks, and we fire artillery rounds. We have to have mathematical skills to calculate, so the damn artillery round doesn't land on top of our own people. It lands in the right place. So the ASVAB is a perfectly functional battery of tests that you take. It's very easy. I found it. I just scored very high on it, very, very high. I mean, it made me look like a genius. But I was working on a farm, so but general literacy skills and calculation, computation skills come into play as well. But the ASVAB is just a standard test. It's easy. I found easy. Apocalypse Now says, if we were called and we went for the first interview and the second was arranged, but no email came for the second one, how do we go about that? Okay, I've answered this question hundreds of times, and thank you for the 70 Rand super chat. I don't know what to tell you because you're not giving me all the information. Did they tell you where to go for the interview? Now, don't say I went to the place already, because they might tell you to go to Cape Town instead of Joburg. Did they tell you where the next interview is going to be? If they told you where the next interview is going to be and they told you the date that's going to happen, then you should go there. If you have an interview tomorrow, for instance, and you're writing to me this without telling me all the information that you're supposed to have an interview tomorrow in Pretoria, and you haven't received the email, then you should go. Now, we've had people say that they went and they weren't let in, but the vast majority of people say they were let in. If you have an interview. If you have an interview scheduled and they haven't informed you, then you don't show up, That's going to be on you. You follow? The emails typically are being sent out late, being sent out the day prior because of OPSEC, because people have big freaking mouths. Some of the people in this program should not be in this program. They should be forced to suffer and stay in South Africa because they have big mouths and they've violated their non-disclosure agreement. So yeah, that's my recommendation. But you didn't give me all the facts, so don't blame me if I give you bad information. I'm going based off the limited information you gave me. Background checks are done from the date you've applied. Okay, that's when they're initiated, Helen. That's not when they're completed. I was asked which town is closest to and told I'll be going there for an interview. Well, there you go, Angels, Avroshka. That's cool. Georgios Kiratzatkis. Thank you for upgrading your membership, Georgios. I appreciate that, Georgios. Okay. Maze is struggling this week with their health. We got ours while driving to Pretoria. See, there you go. Dean Maritz, there you go. Perfect. Thank you very much, Dean, for explaining that. You didn't get your email until you were driving to Pretoria, which meant you probably left the evening prior. And you went to Postnet and printed out. Dotted, dusted, finished and clear, solution. I go to Postnet to pick up my tickets for rugby games and concerts. You guys can go to Postnet to get your email. Ann Gould says, please don't upset yourself. I'm not upset, Ann. I'm not upset. I'm fine. But thank you for your concern. Where did this thing go? It jumped. My chat jumped. What are your thoughts regarding the government shutting down again in January regarding the budget? I think it would affect the refugee program. It would affect the refugee program. That's correct, because there'll be no money to spend on settling people on the side. And the vendors can't work at risk. It's illegal. They're not allowed to do work if they're not being paid. Because you can't bill the U.S. government for work you've done that was never authorized. The authorization is the funding authorization. So I think there's a very real chance that the government will shut down at the end of January again, and it will affect the refugees. So you better hope you get on the boat. Get on the boat before January 30th. They don't care. Intake on the 10th, just waiting patiently. Okay, Marshall Eagle, and thank you for your membership. Kyle, why is this chat not up to date over here? Do they do medicals in Durban? I don't know if they do medicals in Durban. I've heard no confirmation of that, but I would think they would. If they're doing interviews, they'd probably try to do it there. Is it normal for an agent to ask for an unabridged certificate for a 20-year-old? Yes, it is. It is. They're a minor. If you're bringing them over, if you're bringing a 20-year-old over as part of your family group, then they're essentially a minor. It is normal. Absolutely. Take your power back. What's Tennessee like? Tennessee's amazing. Just stay away from Memphis. And I got a call today. Congratulations. On a Sunday. You see these people working their ass off for you all. Working on a Sunday. Everybody's working for the weekend. And some are working on the weekend. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so Apocalypse Ninja, I think I've answered the question. And the gentleman earlier said that he didn't get his email until he was en route. And so he went to Postnet and printed it. That's a very healthy approach. You said he's either dishonest, lazy, or functional illiterate, so I reckon he has all those properties. Rudolph, probably true. Went to UCI, called 8:30 and ended at 13. During this time, I took an oath twice, started with one official and ended with two. Good Lord. Alan McGill. Okay, that's a long day. Print out the email, printing shop, quick and easy. I like your content. Your info has been invaluable, but it seems like you're getting frustrated. Maybe it's wise to take a break. No. I did take a break, GCS. When this thing started in February, we spent a lot of our news program talking about the refugee. I entertained questions during the news. I cut that off a few months back. I don't answer questions about refugees by and large unless it's something urgent during the news thing. This is a once-a-week event. That's not taxing. In my night hours, I answer questions about refugees, and I'll answer it after the news. I'm frustrated because people are intentionally being trolls, other people being intentionally stupid, some people are intentionally being rude, and other people being intentionally very demanding. I mean, from the beginning, well, you know what? If you don't like the program, if you think it's unfair, then don't participate in it. Stay in South Africa and deal with what you're dealing with. Not you, GCS Fabric. I'm just saying, this is a general statement. No, am I being frustrated? No, I'm not frustrated. I mean, you haven't seen me frustrated. You haven't seen me mad. I wasn't even mad earlier when I used to potty mouth in my broadcast when someone abandoned my channel because their feelings weren't, because somebody used a word they didn't like. I'm like, seriously, you've been with the channel for 6 years and I've done everything I can to help you out? Thank you for your membership. And they said, I'm abandoning the channel. Well, I mean, you know what? I don't need that sort of nonsense. That pissed me off. That's all. I'm not frustrated. That just pissed me off. So if you caught the previous part at the end of the last stream, that's what that was about. Yeah, so I'm fine. Thank you, GCS Fabric. No, if I've been frustrated from the outset because people ask the same damn question over and over again. And I get frustrated when the same person asks the same question. I get it from people all the time. I guess they don't trust the answer. So then they ask the same question a couple weeks later, a couple months later, the same person. And when I ask a question in a broadcast, people don't have the courtesy to show up on time when they know this is a weekly broadcast and they wait 20 minutes and ask the same question I've already answered. Of course, I get a little bit frustrated, but it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. So anyway, but I'm fine. Actually better now than I have been in months. And Robus is, I recommend waiting for the email. At any of you, they demand an email. Okay, Robus boy. All right, yeah, feel free to do that. And when you miss your appointment, you get put to the back of the queue and they'll call you back in February. That's on you. You can take his advice. You can take my advice. Do what you want. It's not my fault that this thing is screwed up. I'm just telling you what has worked for 90% of the people. Well, the time is always 7:30 to my knowledge. They'll give you a date, yes. If so, go. Otherwise, you will get the email. Yeah, exactly. See, the problem is if you are in Port Elizabeth and they tell you to go to Pretoria and you wait for the email before you leave and it arrives at 6 p.m., what are you going to do? Drive for 16 hours through the night and risk your life driving through the Free State? Is that what you're going to do? I mean, I'm just asking. Or are you just going to get it and go, oh, damn it. My fuck Marlies. I'm screwed. Oh, did that hurt somebody's feelings? I used the F word. So thank you for the super chat there. Nina Fun Sale, 70 Rand. Clouds are gathering. I mean, is that what you're going to do? I mean, I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend. Honestly. The email will come. Well, hopefully it will. If one member of the family is pending police charges, will it stop us from being approved? No. Unless the member of the family is the head of household. Then you got a problem. If they're the main applicant, then you've got a problem. Potentially. What do you mean by pending charge? There are no such thing as pending charges. Okay? There's no such thing as a pending police charge. Either you've been charged with a crime or you haven't been charged. If you've been arrested, you're going to have to explain that. If they find a problem with that, then that could be an issue. But either you've been charged with a crime or you're not been charged with a crime. And being charged with a crime isn't a barrier to coming. You can be charged with a crime, doesn't mean that you're guilty of it. You have to have your day in court. They're not going to wait for your day in court. They're going to evaluate the situation. So based on the limited information you gave me, Jackie Kane, I really can't answer any better than that. How are people getting interviews and I'm still waiting? Well, because Sue, 100,000 people have put in their interest. And they're going through 100,000 cases. So it's not strange at all. Spoken to wifey, she advised the RCS said those dates are at a specific place. Know where to go now. We will chance it and sort it out on the fly. You're not wrong. Did give you not enough to go on. I'm sorry, I don't really understand what you're saying there. And this must be an English Afrikaans thing. Good evening, my good uncle. Hope you're blessed and loved. We're excited to meet you and have a family. Starbucks. Well, the Starbucks, Ruben, will have to wait until after the 4th of December. There's a super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And that one came from Ruben. Thank you. No question, just a little support. I know it's not much. No, thank you for 14 Rand. To your point earlier, there were colored Indian and black folks. Yes, it's your cultural orientation meaning. Exactly. Thank you, O'Neill. But I need those people when they arrive in America to do interviews with me so we can destroy these fake media outlets and their fraud. Of course, then they'll say, but that's just one colored family. Well, there were coloreds in the first one, and they still lie about the program. My son is almost 10 months in this, and I don't know what you're saying, Art Queen. Almost 10 months in this, and apparently you ran out of space. Thank you for the $2, Art Queen. I wanted to say thanks for the information you've provided. I've completed my second review this week and making progress. All right, Chris James, thanks for popping in, and you don't have to run off. Oh, come on, where's that? Okay, I'm way behind the chat. I'm trying to catch up. Okay. Trying to catch up. Okay, there it is. Okay. Did interviews medical 6 weeks ago, case under review. There must be something holding up your medical, will be my guess, or it's just in a queue with a lot of others. They've sent emails at 5 in the morning before your second email, so drive to work. Yeah, there you go, Joan. That's exactly right. Yeah, but they're not very helpful. They should have sent those emails when they confirmed the appointment. That's what they should have done. Congolese is spelt with a C. Everything on Friday, second review tomorrow. A family member got a date and location review, but for both times, confirmation mail only came 12 hours before the interview. Exactly. And if you're a long way from there, what are you going to do? Received my initial call on Friday, now waiting for call or email. Okay. And Riffs Hards gave 70 Rand super chat. Thank you for that. Clouds are gathering. May I ask you why so many interviews when there aren't enough flights to match the number of approved cases? It seems people are getting cleared, but then stuck waiting. Now, you're making all kinds of assumptions based on a lack of information, relaxing positive energy. Why so many interviews? Because the intent is to remove all these people from South Africa if they're approved. They're approved refugees. That's why. And what do you mean there aren't enough flights? The United States can easily charter flights if they get a backlog and they feel the need to do that. But that will require a budget to prove, so they're not going to do it before then. I have a definite interview once the friend is in the U.S. Okay, thank you, Joe Texas. Thank you very much for that $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Very kind of you. Yeah, you're going on information. You don't have the whole full picture. If you're going on what I estimate, it's based on commercial flights. First off, we're not putting people on Emirates. We're not putting people on Lufthansa. We're not putting people on Air Chance. We're not putting people on South African Airways. Why? We have no legal control over those organizations. United and Delta are the only airlines that fly to South Africa from the United States. They're the U.S.-based carriers. U.S.-based carriers fall under federal aviation regulations, and they must accommodate the U.S. government. So if we wanted, they could bump people from the flight. Absolutely. And that all comes under it. Look, I know how this works. I served in the military. I know how these things work. We can also just simply contract World Airways, if it still exists, to take their flights and fly down there and pick people up. It can happen. Why so many interviews? Why so many people being interviewed, I think is a question you have. Because they're trying to get through the cases where people applied. They have a mission. Also, relaxing positive energy, you got to understand, this is a government. One hand doesn't always know what the other hand's doing. RSC and Amerikaners have been given a mission. They're being paid to pre-screen and review cases and forward them to USCIS. USCIS has a responsibility to process cases. They process the cases, come to them. They don't pick up the flow. RSC and Amerikaners get paid for the cases they get done. They are trying to get as many cases done as possible and as correctly as possible. They have to have good quality control too. Thank you, Art Queen. Not getting calls or anything. Who, your son? Not you. You're obviously in the U.S. or you have a U.S. bank account because you're paying in dollars. You must be talking about your son. Did your son not get a call? He's never had an interview. If he hasn't had an interview, if he hasn't done an intake questionnaire, then he's not going to get called. I've covered that. So that's the answer to that, Raxing Positive Energy. Kyle Watkins are saluted. Contractor, carpenter, handyman, best place to go. There's no such thing, William. Take your pick. There are great jobs for people in all those places, okay? We've never gotten emails up till today, but we went in any case, and thankfully our names were... There you go. And you followed my advice, did you not, Jonathan Vitboy? Did you not follow my advice? Because if I recall, you asked, and I said go. And your name was on the list, exactly. Did Tunny Thea confirm she'll be doing? No, I don't know. Let's see, Thea. By the way, my freaking WhatsApp updated on my PC and the fonts have all changed. So. Okay, now it's just frozen. What the hell's going on there? Oh, it's frozen. My WhatsApp is frozen. Jiminy crickets. Jiminy crickets. Jiminy crickets. WhatsApp is acting up. They did an update and it's just crap. It just froze on me. So I've just closed it and that message now didn't go. Oh, yeah, it doesn't want to work. Let me just go into Control-Alt-Delete the magical Windows crap and make sure it's closed there. It is closed. Okay. So let's try to reopen it again. WhatsApp. There. Oh, it started open, then it went to this crap. Anyway. Love your channel. Military history info for interviews. What info will be acquired if I served in SAPS? What you did in SAPS, how long you served in SAPS, the locations you served in SAPS, were you ever involved in human rights abuses? Things like that. I've been in the first team for Pretoria Medical in Santon. Second interview, Santon's email is important. Yep. Some refugees from some countries are not going to be beneficial to USA. Most refugees from many countries. No, just kidding. Pre-screening medicals done and final interview next week. Congratulations. Sold our car to get here. Okay. There was a couple at our medicals where the woman was white and the husband was black, persecuted because married to a white woman. Yep. I can confirm. In fact, do I still have that thing? Because I got to hang on a second here. Okay, it's finally open. People are asking. All right, I sent her a message. So, yeah, I had a message here from somebody. I was going to read it. Let's see if it got wiped out when Windows rebooted on me. Looks like it did. Yeah, unfortunately. It's not here. I had this thing. Let me see if it's in here. Boy, lots of people. What are they doing? Super chats? Okay, you're not answering my question. Every email on UCS forms. Okay, did he do the intake questionnaire? That's what I asked. I don't care about all the other forms. None of that stuff matters. If you did a PRM email, doesn't matter. If you did a statement of interest, doesn't matter. If you've not had an interview and you've done those things, it doesn't matter. If you're just walking into the program today, it doesn't matter. You must do the intake questionnaire or you will not be contacted. That's what I'm asking, Art Queen. Has he done the intake questionnaire? Otherwise, I mean, you're not going to get a call. It's as simple as that. That's what the embassy website says, and that's what they're going by. So I cannot find the thing. Anyway, somebody told me that there were Indians, coloreds, and there was a black man married to a white woman, and they're probably going to get approved. How to confirm their email? Very simple. I take it you know nothing about IT. Can one of the IT people here weigh in on that so I don't have to address that because it takes a moment to explain that? Utopia, are you here? Just give them some hints on how you can confirm an email, okay? And we can confirm they're colored, Indian, and African, and black people being interviewed. Yeah, exactly. And black folks. I said some black folks would qualify. No, they're not Afrikaners. Oh, it's not for Afrikaners. Never said it was. Do you know if flights and resettlements take a break? No, they won't. They won't. Romeo, they won't. Bit late. We had our first contact Friday. Great. Working right now. So busy, says Varoshka. Okay. Not Matrix. There's a GED site where you can study online for free. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. RC Africa sent us an email that we'll be traveling the next 2 to 4 weeks. Okay. And Fit Nut Innovations out here. Where are you leaving for, man? Where are you going? We went for the NASCAR racing. Cool. Joe Zar. I bet that's fun. 5 laps, that's it. I've heard many people applied to be refugees, but very few have been accepted. Well, then you heard lies. You've heard absolute lies. First off, Stefan, nobody has applied for a refugee program until they've been contacted. Okay, so first off, who told you that? Where did you hear that at? And what did they say? Who's been denied? I challenge people, other than the 2 scamsters, the 2 fraudsters who were caught trying to get through the program, who were told to leave. I'm not aware of a single person who's been denied in this program. Not one. Not one person has come forward and articulate, because if they do, they'll quickly be proven to be a liar, because we can find out if they actually apply. No one has applied to the program, Stephen, until you've been contacted. Before that, you filled out an email saying you're interested. Then you did a statement of interest saying, I would be curious to join this program. And now you're filling out a questionnaire, which will be looked at. If you're contacted, then you start an application. Before that, there's no application. So first off, whoever said that is a liar, because they have no evidence that that's true. Second, I have never found a person who's been denied the program. Not a single one. That doesn't mean there aren't people out there. But who told you that? What's their basis for that? And where did you find the information at? In a WhatsApp group? On a Facebook page? On a Black Supremacy Twitter account? Okay, okay, that's all you're going to get, Art Queen. And that was only available on the 4th of November, so be patient. Thank you. So he did fill out the intake questionnaire. Then he should get contacted. Waiting for approval letter and cultural orientation, then travel after they recall my husband to tie loose ends. Okay? See, there you go. You get called back sometimes. Holden Caulfield, what's up, man? Also filled out the latest form, got a call, waiting for them to call or email, okay? I'd like to thank you, Uncle. You're a true blessing. Well, thank you, Ruben. It's very kind of you. I appreciate that. Namaste. Paul says, I'm just making statements. My son got his approval letter. My husband and I are waiting for approval letter. You don't have to mention your son's name there, Leanne, but thank you. There's no need for that. In my call, the gentleman said, I need to send passports of each member, receive my confirmation email for the interview, and it's an hour after that. Need to send passports. You don't send your passports to anybody. That doesn't make any sense. Got my Amerikaners first call last week, so now I'm waiting for my next contact. I'm just writing it here in case they're watching. No, the Amerikaners do watch my show. What questions are they asking? Very grateful for everything you do. Thank you, Madeline. Okay, Yaku Swanepoel. Hi there. I sent you a thank you email WhatsApp on the 14th. We followed your advice to the letter and got some good news. Well, congratulations, Yaku Swanepoel. I'm sorry if I missed your message or if I didn't respond to it. Some of the messages I receive I don't respond to because there's no point. It takes time. I mean, a lot of the messages now I'm just writing response. I don't even put cheers or, respectfully or my even name. I'm just writing because there's so many things coming in. Celeste says, thank you for all you do. So much to appreciate it. No, I know a lot of people do. Thank you very much. Yeah, May says, if your button gets pushed, remember it's your button, not everybody else's. True statement there. True statement. All right, cool beans. So, confusion came in for us when we received our approval letter from RCS stating that we've been accepted and that they will start booking tickets. However, the attached letter from US says have been unconditionally. Yeah, okay, again, Shelley, I'm going to explain this for probably the millionth time here, maybe the 100,000th time. It's a provisional approval, folks. The problem is the Kenyans, I don't know why they're telling us, but in the Amerikaners, it's provisional. Your approval can be rescinded at any time if information turns out to say that you're not an ideal candidate. All right? So it's provisional. Relax. If you got provisional approval, it means you're probably coming to the States. Watch Mushkan, I must say, some people really must wear signs. Yes, GCS Federation, some people must really wear signs. Wear a sign, wear a sign. I know many people have applied to refugees. U.S. still accepting because we're not hearing back. Stefan, first off, very few people have applied. When I say very few people, based on the number of people keep complaining about it, thousands have applied now. That means thousands of interviews have been initiated or started, cases have been initiated. They're still accepting people sending in the intake questionnaire. If you have put in a PRM email, if you've put in a statement of interest and have never had an interview, then you need to fill out the intake questionnaire or you will not be contacted. Simple as that. Not Amerikaners, not RSC, the intake questionnaire, which is on the U.S. Embassy website, which has not been updated since the 4th of November. Yes, they're still doing it every single day. I mean, you just heard earlier, if you were paying attention, someone was called by Amerikaners earlier today. Obviously, they're still doing it. If Amerikaners are working on a Sunday night to tell you that they're scheduling an interview, obviously we're still doing it. Don't worry, I'll ask the same questions about Barack Hussein Obama. Nina Funsell, thank you for 70 Rand. Love you, Colonel. Going to bed. Okay, Chisigi, have a good one. Take care. Would not advertise any statement with regard to refugee status. Exactly. Lots of approvals will probably take months to clear the bottleneck. Possibly. Love the hat. I want one. When do you suppose those of us who've done all the steps could possibly reach USA? Well, Madeline, it depends. I can't suppose. I mean, I'm not running the program. I have no insight on that. It'd be nice if somebody who had insight in the program was actually doing this sort of thing and telling people, releasing things, Might be a bit late. As Chris addressed the speculation people are making about the last 4 digits in the case number and the limit reached. No, that's just horse shit. Don't pay any attention to that. There's no limit. Okay, no, I haven't addressed it because I haven't heard that fairy tale rumor yet, USA for Life. Never heard that. First time I heard that. First off, people trying to game the system and people trying to think they're senior von Rensburg need to stop it because you don't know what you're doing, okay? Nonsense. Ooh, it says my case number is 6,500. I'm screwed. Again, how many times do I have to tell people the limit is not a limit? It's a goal. It's an objective. Stop focusing on it. And if you know what, I'll tell you what. if your case number is 7,500 and you think you're not going to go, you know what? You're not going to go. You're screwed. It's all over. You'll never get here. You might as well give up right now. Oh, damn it. I'm screwed. I got to do a hard number. I'm not going to go. You know what? Go cry in your beer. Go get a Casa Lager. Get some Chibuku. Relax, chill, because you're never coming. You're never coming to America. Oh, you missed the boat. It's all over. Watch this stream. I just wasn't in the chat, but I'm very sad that people can treat you so badly. Well, thank you for that, Lindy. Yeah, people do. Will it affect my case if I submit it years after my husband received a call and email from... Okay, I don't know what you're getting at there, Lienke. You have 2 cases. You have 2 households. Why are you submitting 2 cases? I don't know the answer on that one. They'll probably, in the past, what we've seen is if 2 cases were submitted and it wasn't appropriate for one case that should have been on the same family group, then they just dismiss the weaker case. If one of you has a weaker case than the other, then they'll just get rid of the weaker case so you can all come over in the stronger case. I think I've answered your question. News One reporter researcher asks in our community how we feel about boss saying he doesn't want to help us. He's researching a published story about. Good. It's good. They're going to. I think they're trying to say that there's people aren't helping the refugees, but what they're going to do is expose Church World Services. That's brilliant. Oh, but I see what they're doing. So Jonathan, you're colored. So they came to a colored community to show that that's what they're trying to do. You're going to see it's racist. See, they're racist. They won't take the colored people. Jonathan, thank you for the heads up. That warrants a video, man. That warrants a video. Colored community, News 24, asking questions. I just gonna save that screenshot so I get that right. I'm gonna do a video on that. I don't do videos on rumors and innuendo, but I will do a video on that rumor and innuendo. Wow. Because I want to preempt News 24's story. Thank you, Jonathan. Jonathan, send me an email if you know any more about that. That's fantastic. I'm going to do a video on that. Applications at the Harare Embassy. Smartass. Okay. We can confirm you do sign non-disclosure and you do get advised to come off groups and not share info. Yep. I can tell you that, Leon. Yep. Enos Grove, wondering if the backlog of people that had dates to fly will be caught up before the end of January. I have no idea, and that's just speculation. Why would you speculate? I mean, we have no idea. I get constant sad emails from people about, I was supposed to leave, and I'm still stuck here, and we have nothing. And I appreciate where you're coming from, and it's wrong. It was unfair. But put yourself in the picture of those people in Kenya from Somalia who've been waiting 15 years to leave, and then Trump suspended the program, and then he said, you guys can come. That doesn't make your case any better. It doesn't make the situation any better, but just, put yourself in that situation. Just to make sure my daughter is 19, is it correct that she must apply on her own? Well, Mina, okay. All right, so Mina, from the very beginning, I told people that and see, but you haven't given me all the stats, okay? See, there's a lot of missing information in your comment there. Number one, is your daughter in university? No, I don't know. Does your daughter live at home with you? I don't know. Those things affect it. Is your daughter part of your household? Normally, a 19-year-old, 18 above, would have to apply on their own because they're adults. And we've seen cases where they've been told to do that. We've also seen cases where they've been included in a family group. My recommendation is that both people, if you have an adult child, 18 or older, that they fill out. I mean, if your daughter's 19 and she lives in Witbank and you live in Rotherport, she's not in your family. She needs to apply on her own. If she lives in your house, I would say that she still has to apply because she's an adult. She just happens to be living there. She ought to be paying rent, by the way. She's 19. She ought to be paying your rent. Just saying. My recommendation would both you put in. No harm, no foul. Just a lot of time involved for the intake questionnaire, Mina. So you didn't miss anything. Sorry if this has been asked, but my case was updated from all the completed medical and still trial not started. I don't want to email because I don't want to clog the system. Well, Yolanda, you won't get any response if you email. So, I mean, it's not clogging the system. It is clogging the system, but you're not getting a response. They're not responding to those emails. You just have to wait. That's all I can say. Okay, now I'm catching up with it. So those of you sending some emails, Chris, please consider that many people are also doing the same as you. Consider this busy. Okay, thank you for that, Maze. Love your way of speaking, my folk Marlies. Thank you, Crystal. Had a call a week before, but no email. Went anyway and only got my email the afternoon before the interview. So if you got the call with the date and venue, go. There you go. See, that's what I'm saying, Cornier. But people aren't listening. They can take whatever advice they want. Ruben, no question, just a little support. Thank you for that. News 24 is looking to make trouble. Make sure Chris sees it. Yeah, thank you for that, Diana, and for Jonathan Vitboy. Yep. To your point earlier, there were colored. Yeah, exactly. We got an email with dates and times when we got there. They said we were not on the list. They sent us to the back of the queue and they helped us after. Okay, all right, but you got helped, Mike. You got helped. Maybe you were lucky. I don't know. IBM backed up all the South African services for the OC ages ago. Says okay. On CW's website, it states the program is still on pause until the consultations are done and signed. Why is this? What is this? No, it's not true, Nina. It's not true. It's not true. Oh, did you give me a super chat earlier and I missed it? Sorry. Yeah. You're okay. So, it's just showing me you gave a super chat. That's a new thing. YouTube's doing something new now. They're showing me you gave you the super chat. No, it's not true. Flights have resumed. I'm not saying when they start or when they're starting or when they started. No, I'm not saying that. Some people are stupid enough to tell you, but I'm not telling you because people's lives are in jeopardy. Give me a second here. My shoes are killing me here. So no, that has nothing to do with it. Church World Services being a shithead. That guy's an ass. First off, they're disrespectful. They don't have the courtesy to return requests from the media for interviews, and then they spew their hatred out on their website. They're angry because they're not getting money. Maybe I'm starting to think that they're just people that hate white Americans. I don't know. They're angry. I think that's what it is because I think it's programming for white people, so they're going to lie about it. We can't get enough of these other people over here. But the bottom line to me is it's about money. Don't listen to anything Church World Services has to say. Don't listen to them. Stop reading their website because they're misleading you. They're stating facts, but they're not telling you the whole story. Is there a coastal town that I like? I love Annapolis. That's on the Chesapeake Bay. And I like Monterey, California. Okay, my chat just locked up. Okay, where the heck am I at now? So I got it free. Give me a second here. Well, I'm way behind. Okay, Jonathan said he'd send me the email. I guess that's what that was. Hey, what's going on, Ronell? Seems like the email thing is becoming a stickler like the passports were in the beginning. Use common sense. If you have an appointment date, make every effort to attend and handle what comes. Exactly. Thank you, Ronell. That's common sense. The Kenya fellow I spoke to asked me where my nearest center would be. I'm grateful. He got someone. Okay. Emil Bernard Osthuizen, I assume that is. I got a link to complete and confirm my availability for interview. Completed, but nothing to indicate where it was taking place. That's a problem. That's a problem. Well, they've just asked you for availability. They didn't give you a date, so you just have to be patient. Thank you for the 70 rand, Emil. Thank you for that. Yeah, in your case, you haven't got an interview set up yet because they haven't called you to tell you the date. They're going to call you and tell you that. Left out the persecution part in error. They phoned and asked about it, and they said they were referring me further. Just so glad to get the call. Okay, that's good, Kathleen. Okay, sent you a thank you email. What's that? 14th Fudge Vice. Got the letter and got some good news. Oh, I already saw that one. Okay, must be ready to. Okay, I guess I already saw this. Is there any way to confirm their email? Stop putting things in twice, people, because it makes me think I'm missing things. Okay. People are being contacted for statement interest then from the latest form, but no information for us on who received calls and waiting for calls. We were told would come before people were fired. Who was fired, the Val? Who's been fired? No one's been fired. What are you talking about? Okay. Is there any way to confirm their email? Whose email, Wall Photography? Whose email? See, guys, half sentences are useless. Happened with WhatsApp, my PC. It is very irritating, Ronald. It just happened today. They did something, and it locks up. And now, I mean, actually, the font is. I don't know what font this is, but it's a little nicer. So, but yeah, it messed with my whole WhatsApp on my PC, and I like WhatsApp on the PC because I can work here and look at PC at the same time. So, anyway. Sandy can't do something. I don't know what Sandy said. What did Sandy do? I got to go back and find Sandy now. Okay, can you buy your own? No, you can't buy your tickets. Why would you buy your tickets? No, stop, full stop. Where do you get that concept from? Okay, again, all right. Sandy, this isn't directed to you, but it's directed to people that aren't listening. I've been telling people this for 10 months. You are refugees. If you're an economic migrant, then foot sec. You have no business in this program. If your life isn't in jeopardy, if you haven't been denied things because of genuine persecution, then you are the people that Ronald Lamola is talking about. Don't apply. Don't show any interest. Move about and do your business. This is not a program for you to get a free ride to America. It's for people who are suffering. Okay? That's what it's for. You cannot simply buy a plane ticket and come to America. You're going to be kicked out. And you're going to jeopardize, you're going to have you're probably kicked out of the refugee, the whole thing together. You'll lose it. You'll never come here. Why do people think they can get on a plane and come here? Again, Sandy, not directed at you. This comes up too often. That's why I'm doing this. It's a refugee program. You must be approved. You must be escorted to the airport by diplomatic security. You must be put on a plane. You are a ward of the United States. You're put on a U.S. carrier for a reason. We don't put you on Emirates because we have no control over that. We don't put you on Cathay Pacific or South African Airways, for God's sake. You get put on an American carrier, which we have legal authority over. You were landed in America. You were facilitated through the airport because of your status and pushed on to your final destination where a refugee agent will be there. You cannot buy your own ticket. You cannot buy your own ticket. I'm sorry. I think some people miss this. You cannot buy your own ticket, okay? Is that clear? Is that clear? Every week we go over this. That's why I'm doing it. Sandy, again, not directed at you. Why would people think they can buy their own ticket? Why do people? Because they were migrants. They're economic migrants. They simply want to move to a better place. This isn't for you. These are not the droids you're looking for. Look elsewhere. Double D Dudre says there are 23 U.S. flights a week from Joburg and Cape Town. 23. So, if the U.S. took all the seats on those, an average of 350 seats per flight, an average 350, 350 times 23 flights per week, that's 8,000 people a week could leave. I would quit worrying about how many people can get out of there. Trump and Rubio aren't going to take crap from ANC. Hey, Brett, what's going on, man? Interviewed telephonically directed by USRP, no contact since then. My advice, not happy camper, do the intake questionnaire. Do it immediately. Yeah, to me, I'm reading interview as if you've been called in for an interview. That's what I'm reading. You weren't interviewed. You know what I'm going to say there, not happy camper? You weren't interviewed. You were screened. That telephone call was a screening. That wasn't an interview. Interviews are by USCIS. Now, they're saying if you've been interviewed by Amerikaners and RSC that that's an interview, but I can tell you that somebody that I know that works for the U.S. government would offer the advice I just gave. Do the intake questionnaire. It's all software. It's all sits in a database. It's not going to slow anything down. Some are stuck in one stage of system, some on the next stage, some are ready to travel, all in family. There you go. FPTN Blossom. I hate these names that YouTube is doing now. Letter for being approved for USA. I don't know what that means. Serve in SAPS, you need a certificate saying that you started and stopped. I don't know about that, Fabian. You know better than me. I've never heard that before. Did every email in UCS form since February, says Art Queen. Okay, and did the intake questionnaire. All right, well, then there's nothing more he can do. Nothing more he can do, Art Queen. Does he have criminal background? Don't answer this question. Does he have criminal background? Does he have tuberculosis? Has he abused people? Don't answer any of those questions. To me. My pre-screen interview next week, but they haven't given me the address. I'm assuming Consulate Santon. That's a good assumption, Mr. Carroll, but I don't know. Okay, Mr. KHRO, let me tell you what I would do. Okay, if I were in your shoes, and you know that's in Joburg. I don't know how you know it's in Joburg unless they told you it's going to be in Joburg. If that's the case, and I were in your shoes, and I lived near Joburg, these are all ifs, but ifs and buts for candy and nuts. We'd all have a Merry Christmas, right? But if all that were true, what's the harm in driving to Santon, park in the car, walk into the consulate with whatever email you've got or thing you've dealt with them and say, hey, listen, here's my ID, here's my email from these people. Is my interview here tomorrow? Here. Now, if you live in Uppington, that's going to be quite a burden, but just saying, man, just saying. Thank you. Got to use some common sense here. Thank you for much answering my email regarding resubmit when you give a case number. No worries, just another girl. Sorry if I asked, but has anyone had an issue with medicals being in process nearly a month and a half now? Yes, many people have a problem with that. Some people had kids that have psychotic issues. Some people have autistic kids. Some people have mental health issues. There are a lot of reasons why this thing's held up. Open Door Solutions says, any advice appreciated. Any advice on what? How to confirm their email. Wild Photography, again, whose email? Quit sending money just to get an answer. I appreciate the super chat, but whose email? Whose email? No, she said, the forgotten one, she said that he did the intake questionnaire on the 4th of November. I saw you reply on one of my posts, a video of Colonel Wyatt still wanting to reply and say, ask the Colonel, but you did before I could. Okay. If you were in SAPS, you will get a lot of questions about your service. Exactly. Be truthful. That's what I've always said. Be truthful. Hey, Yaku Swanepoel, what's going on? I see everyone's case is different. I did not get a call, but I got email with both dates and locations. Yeah, everyone's case. That's what Waldo Fundevalt. That's what I tell everybody. Nobody has the same experience. That's why we're doing all these interviews. Not one of the interviews has had the same experience. Even amongst the 59ers, they had different experiences. Was a G20 failure? It was from my perspective, yes. Just, every single one of you is exposing yourselves, guys. This channel is monitoring, really get a grasp. Yeah, well, Louis Afrikaner, 140 Rand. I missed that. Thank you for that. Thank you for all your help. For Hendo for sharing daily reminders. Hope we jump on a plane, okay? Any couple were there, and when I had an interview, medical, definitely not only white Afrikaners. Yep. Yes, it should complete at the end. Okay, Art Queen. Well, okay, that's a questionnaire. So, yeah, it's a questionnaire. Okay, we did PRM, SOI, Americaners in the last questionnaire. We were starting to lose hope, but then we got a call on Friday. Hey, dog break, look at that. Look at that. And what have I told you all to be? Patient. Mixed couples too. Thanks for your answer. Just so you know, I have a chronic dumb question disorder. You at least replied to my comments in your other stream earlier. You haven't answered a no to any of my messages in this stream. Okay, Quids. What? I haven't seen any messages or comments from you, Quids. What am I missing? I'm also about 20 minutes behind in the chat. Confusion came in for us when we said letter, Hatch letter from you says we've been what? Okay, unconditionally approved. Okay, this is false info. No, it's not false info. What do you mean it's false info? Why is that false info? If you've been unconditionally approved, you have provisional approval. People understand there are people waiting since May of 2025 that have not been contacted. This is what the intake questionnaire is for. Yep. You will be asked for all expired passports. Well, who keeps their expired passport? I don't. Actually, I do. I got disconnected. Okay, I'm glad you're back. What bites me is that the people that were approved way after us are flying out. Well, you don't know that. That's what people are making claims. A lot of people lie, Ian. A lot of people lie. I forgot. Yeah, exactly. Chris says, Quids, relax. Don't get butthurt for no reason. Chris is busy. Yeah. Forgot the persecution champ and the phone. And he was, okay. Stunned at how many people can't be bothered to do some homework and realize U.S. Charge A is not a junior official. Even when you point to the embassy site, they still won't believe it. Yeah, that's because they're asses. O'Neill must be rating all the super. No, not really. Super chat's dried up, brother. 601 people here, just 393 likes. We can't even get to 500 likes. That's disappointing. Depressing, actually. Yes, he has been on what's this? He's been on Again, Art Queen, there must be something happening. Also, wait, that happens. I'm not picking Art Queen, but a lot of people are very demanding. I mean, again, people wait dozens of years to get in this program. Everybody thinks I get an answer now. It doesn't work that way. Jackie Kane sent an email last week. Is it under that name? Just tell me that. If part of that's in there, I can search for that name. I'm going, yeah, and you're right, Ronald. Thank you. There are thousands of people in the same boat who aren't complaining. You just have to. I don't mean to be callous, but suck it up, Buttercup. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. Complaining here is not going to change anything. I'm glad you're here, and I don't have answers for you. I'm not running the program. If you want to put me in charge, then you can blame me, but I'm not in charge. Reference incoming calls. Does the caller ID show is calling? I don't know, Chantel. I don't know what you use for caller ID. You use True Caller? I mean, what are you using for caller ID? Didn't they take question on the 4th? Was phone on the 5th and answer all the questions? Yeah, well, that's because Gray Man. Okay, I've already explained this, Gray Man, open source intelligence. I've already explained this. I've explained this multiple times. The people who listened to me on the 4th of November and did it right then and got it done and didn't do it on their phone and read the instructions like they were told to and listened to my advice and paid attention and successfully got it submitted on the 4th of November, guess what? There was a team of people waiting to address those emails. They dedicated people to dealing with these cases. And those people now are dealing with thousands of cases that have somehow not been processed, like Art Queen, Liza, and the gentleman who just said something here. So that team, guess what? They had no cases in their inbox. Guess what? Yours was the first one, Gray Man, or the second, or the third, or the 30th. That's why you got a phone call the next day. Then people who did it 2 days later, I haven't been called yet. Well, guess what? Thousands of people did the same thing. You're in the queue. You're in the queue. Many of those people who put in the second day got called a week later. Now it's been 2 weeks later. Some people did the 30, got called this week. It's a lot of people, despite the lies and see the slow uptake. There's no slow uptake. This thing is out of control. What do you mean no chibuku, man? You don't drink chibuku? It's gross. Thank you for your answer. I'm sorry I annoyed you, but comms between ours. You didn't annoy me, Shelly. And the only thing I was annoyed earlier about what happened in the chat in my previous news broadcast. That really pissed me off. First, people lying and saying that someone spelled the K word in my chat. No one ever put the K word. It's impossible. And if it got there, then it's a YouTube failure. Mara Connor's email said, do not take me to inform, but we've not had any phone calls or interviews. If you've not been interviewed, then I don't know why you're listening to them. The embassy says something different. I don't know they've told you that, but if they told you that, I'm a little surprised. Because quite frankly, guys, the U.S. Embassy website tells you to do exactly that. Okay, let's go there. At this time, individuals who meet all the above criteria and would like to be considered for referral to the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program and who have not yet been contacted by a partner to initiate referral into the program or processing of your case should complete the online intake questionnaire. Even if you've already submitted a statement of interest via the link previously shared on this page, if you are still interested in U.S. RIP participation and have not yet been contacted, see, they say here, not yet contacted by referring, okay? If you've not been contacted by them, okay, then you do it. So I'm not sure what people are getting at here. Anyway, just saying. All right, I did want to get to Professor G and the asylum thing. Don't let me forget that, okay? Got my call in 11th November, waiting for the next steps. Yeah, colors, please promote this program in your poor areas, is what Hendo's saying. Have to just state, I take my hat off. You've been following you since February. Patience truly. It has, Renee. It's been tested. Mays, he's trolling. He's being. Paul Dufton said he was going to do that. He's being silly. There's a saying, whether you believe you can or can't, you're absolutely right. What's the difference between a provisional approval and an approval letter? There's no such thing. There's a provisional approval. If it says approval, then fine. Okay? They're all provisional. Even if it says approval, it can be revoked at any time. So keep that in mind. Oh my goodness, Chris, thanks for laughing. Needed that. Having a bit of a tough time with my heart at the moment. Okay, well, I'm sorry that you're having a problem. Oh, okay. Well, you weren't the only person to ask, were you? Jonathan, you weren't the only person to ask, were you? Answer that question. If you were the only person to ask, I mean, I don't have to use your name. I'm not going to use your name. I was never going to use your name, man. Never going to use your name. I don't even know if that's your real name. I don't know what your real name is. So that's your business. No, I wasn't going to use your name. I was going to say my viewers. Yep. Just also confirm what you said. My brother has a complete new form, and we were not able to be linked as they couldn't find him on the system. Complete the form. Exactly. Waiting patiently in faith. My kid's application is much later than mine. If you can go, okay. You're gone. Kids happy with us. Just waiting for anything to happen, okay? UCS told us kids under 21 can go under parents' application as long as they live with parents and are not married. Yes, I know, Fabian. That's what I said, and I adjusted that earlier. But my interpretation of the law would be that you'd have to apply. So decide what you want to do. The new intake questionnaire makes it very clear that you can put them on there. But again, like I said in the case of the lady earlier, if you're living in Rudaport and Vitbank, they're not living in your house. They told me that because my child is 18, they have to apply on their own. Exactly. See? Exactly. Yaku at Swanepoel has completely different information than what you had. Somali replacement theory. He lives with you as working. I hope he pays rent, CMM. What is people's snarky comments saying? Ungrateful if you ask me. Yeah, there's always the snarky comments here. We'll give you a proof of how... what is the difference between a provisional... Okay, I already answered that. I understand the whole Kenya Somali refugee reference. You use it every Sunday. How is it unfair to expect some communication? I didn't say it was unfair, Johan. Never said that. It's unfair to complain and think that you're and act and be indignant that you're being treated poorly. I'm not saying you did, Johan. This is not direct to you. But people get in here and they're indignant. Well, I've been waiting 10 months. I've been waiting this. I've done that. You're not entitled to anything. Let's let's get Tina. Let's calm down here. You're entitled to a damn thing. Nobody's entitled to anything. This is the goodness of Donald Trump and the American people's hearts. And if people don't like it, then they can stuff it. They can foot sec. Now, I have empathy for your situation, but I'm just trying to put things in stark contrast. I mean, what's the ANC doing for you? What's the DA doing for you? What's the UN doing for you? What's the African Development, the Southern African Development Community? What are they doing for you? Nothing. What's the UK, New Zealand, Canada, Australia? What are they doing for you? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. So complaining about it and being indignant about I've been treated unfairly isn't going to get you anywhere other than pissing people off. That's what I'm talking about there, Johan. You're right. It's not unreasonable to expect communication. But again, for the 1 billionth time, this program, if you've got kids, cover their ears right now, okay? Because I'm going to use profanity, okay? I'm going to use profanity. So cover your kids' ears right now. Is this thing frozen? It's frozen. YouTube froze on me again. Give me a second. I'm going to use profanity. I'm going to give you a few moments to get the kids out of the room or get their ears, plugged or whatever it is you do so they don't hear this. Okay, I'm going to use profanity now. You've got a warning. It's a profane alert. You've got your profanity alert. Okay, are you ready? The program is fucked up. The program is fucked up. It's an ad hoc, fucked up, screwed up program. It has been poorly run from the outset, and I've said that 1,000 times. That's what I've said. So there are going to be screw ups here, but the intent is noble. The intent is good. They're moving mountains, and people bitching about not getting emails. I get your concern. And yes, I mention the Kenyans every week. But how about a little empathy for the people that are working 7 days a week to get you out instead of the ingratitude? Kenyans, Americans, South Africans working their ass off to get people over here. And constant. I haven't heard. I appreciate that. I empathize with you. And Johan, you're right. It's not unfair, but the program is screwed up. One hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing half the time from my perspective. I could be wrong. I'm not involved in the program. I'm analyzing it from the outside. The program is fucked up from that standpoint. It's not being handled well. For instance, who in God's green acre tells people to go from Uitenhage to Pretoria in the morning and sends them an email at 5 p.m.? You must be here at 7:30. What is that? And then you finish. Are we done? We're done. Okay. All right. And then they're halfway back to freaking Uitenhage and they're told, well, you got to go to Cape Town tomorrow morning, 7:30. What the hell is that? One-stop shopping. You come, you knock it out, you get it all done. 1, 2, 3 days done. Boom, 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 basta. You're on the road. It's not hard to do. It's not rocket science. But obviously the people scheduling these things are not the same morons that are doing the interviews, that are doing this or doing that. Okay? And now, I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings. Somebody's going to leave the channel now. Oh, you're attacking us. No, I'm not. I go to great lengths to make sure I'm not picking on the people. The people that are working RC are doing their best with what they have. Exactly. Try to stay alive. USA are the only ones trying to help. Exactly. Way to go, Colonel. We so want you to run the entire show. No one cares about except the US. Yep. We are so thankful, President Trump. Okay. Just popping in, Heidi Kruger from very cold Netherlands. Welcome, Heidi. Good to see you again. How are things in the Netherlands? Got a lot of Indonesian neighbors? Would having a tourist visa going to New Zealand is paid for by in-laws to visit? No, should have no effect whatsoever, Mr. Gross. Should have no effect. I mean, you're not expected to stay, and it should have no impact on that. Grayman says, what I was trying to convey is everyone should just calm down, be patient. No, Gray Man, you're inferring incorrectly. No, I'm not saying you're complaining. Not at all. I often take what somebody says in the chat. They say, guys, okay, what you see in the chat is what you see in the chat. What I see in the chat, I'm here for every stream, okay? What I see in the chat, what I get in WhatsApp, what I get in Signal, what I get in Telegram, what I get in emails, I see it all. And when someone does it here, it prompts me oftentimes to talk about a topic. That's why I went earlier, I mentioned it was Sandy, whoever said that thing. And I said, it's not about Sandy. It's about people telling me. So I didn't take that. If I'm angry at you personally, you will know it. Okay? You will know it. Dogzilla. No, the USA Charge is not junior. There are people who are chargés who are junior super Dave, to be clear. I've been in small embassies like Botswana where the junior political officer was appointed the chargé because everyone else was out of town. That does happen, but this guy has got 27 years of diplomatic experience, and he was in the private sector before that. Heidi said she got some snow in the Netherlands. Cool. And Andres Muller thanks me for my hard work. You're very welcome. What happened 15 years ago? According to lawyers, we got to help sort it out. There are over 100,000 cases where people can't register children who were born during the lockdowns. Oh, that's insane. Anyone here that did a final interview 2nd November and got their approval? Well, I wouldn't answer that question. Mad Max, oh yes, Colonel, nailed that one. The people that are working RC in UCSS are doing their best with what they have and having more venues. Because we can't. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, put this in perspective. They've taken a program that isn't funded. See, you all seem to lose sight of that. This program is not funded. It didn't exist in the budget for last year. It didn't. It was never put into funding. Trump suspended the money and they started this program anyway. And now they're using dribs and drabs. They got this program running. They came up with proof of concept. They've dealt with all the negative press. They've dealt with all the unrealistic expectations. And they're doing the best they can. They did it in Pretoria. Well, I can't go to Pretoria. In the new fiscal year, they rolled it out to Cape Town. Well, it rolled out in August to Joburg. Well, I can't go to Joburg or Pretoria. In the new fiscal year, they would have done it October 1st, but they had to wait until November or late in October November because of the shutdown. Cape Town, 3 places we can confirm 100% they're taking place there. Now, as I predicted, they're trying to do it in Durban and PE. Yeah, people are still complaining. Do you have any idea the overhead, the administrative burden of doing that? First off, they don't just rock up at a hotel in Durban. Hello, we're from USCIS. We're here to process refugees. Okay, so do you have Wi-Fi? Can we use your Wi-Fi? They have to have secure means. They have to have secure communications. They have to have diplomatic security to site survey the place to make sure it's safe. Well, I've covered this already. They have to have a plan. They have to protect the Americans that are there. The Americans that are there on official duty are under the force protection responsibility of the ambassador located in Hatfield. Hatfield. We have a consular section in Durban, so by extension, they'll be the ones responsible for it. But we have to have people there to make sure they're protected. You think we trust SAPs? You think we trust hotel security? G4S? You're smoking your socks. You're smoking your socks. And then somebody has to schedule all these damn seats on a plane. And then the lockdown, the shutdown for 43 days, people got canceled. Well, there's a snowball effect there. Oh my gosh, I didn't get an email. I appreciate your concern. But boy, I'll tell you, man. Hello, gift horse. Let me look in your mouth. Now, I'm not being insensitive. People have been waiting 8 or 10 months. All right? I get your concern. You cry like a baby when you get jabbed. Your child's going to mock you. Sorry to hear that. Bev says, I don't care how screwed the program is. Some useless South Africans don't deserve to escape. I think you're right about that, Bev. I'm not saying anybody in my chat does, but there are some people who don't deserve it. Okay, let me catch up here. Okay, Leon, please stop putting information like that in because now I know exactly who you're talking about. And if I can figure out who you're talking about, other people figure it out. Please don't identify people like that in the chat, okay? That's unnecessary. I know you mean well, but please don't do it. Yeah, imagine going to Home Affairs. Well, Hendo, people claim they have interviews scheduled there, but I have not got confirmation yet. My experience thus far through the process, I'm forever grateful for this hard work that everyone's doing behind the scenes, especially for you. Well, you're very welcome, Milo. Mom's is here. Okay. I can vouch, listen to the Colonel and be patient. He knows what he's talking about and has not been wrong with anything so far. Thank you, Loretta. Art Queen, flying home next Sunday. Oh, be careful when you go home, Art Queen. Oh, yes, a poll. How are these FEMA tents? Yeah, the FEMA tents are lovely. Nearly packed up with the Colonel's comment reference underwater basket wick. Thank you for working so hard to try to help us. You're very welcome. Put this in perspective. I live 1,000 kilometers from Joburg. We've had to pay for tickets last minute for an interview. Yeah, exactly, Mr. K. That's my point. That's my point. That's why I said the program is effed up. They won't ask me to Pretoria. Yep, okay, completed. Okay. Medical's loan costs $250 for people 45 and over and won't pay. Yeah, exact. Oh, no, that's guys, the cost of this is millions. It's millions. That's the other thing. People don't appreciate. We're paying millions of dollars. I'm paying for you to come over here. The people are working hard to get us over, but everyone must calm down. Exactly. Family can stay. Our family can say this is honestly the people from UC are incredibly nice and kind people. Understand? Yep. People forget initially Elon Musk and company were effectively doing an audit of USAID and other government-funded programs. Yep. Remember the Doge? Remember that, guys? Can you perhaps explain family reunification? How long after, and also if there's something called family sponsored? That's not what this is. What do you mean family reunification? That's a different situation. I don't understand where you're coming at that from. Any PA jobs available in Dub Africa? Will they send you to Cape Town for medical interviews if you stay in Johannesburg? It's a very real possibility to do something stupid like that, Leanke. You need to tell them, I'm 5 minutes from the embassy. Please don't send me to Joburg or Cape Town. I don't have time for that. Program on hold for 90 days. Trump then instituted the refugee program. South Africans hence it had priority because we're still on hold. Infrastructure needed to be replaced. They should get you to run the program. Well, Super Dave, I agree. Honestly speaking, you have extensive experience. Well, not just Africa, but with the government and with refugees and with asylum. I wouldn't go to Home Affairs, went in for a passport, came out when the car was gone. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. They can, but when they tell you that, open your mouth and tell them what city is closest to you. Exactly, Napoleon. Geography. Yeah, they need geography lessons. We should have a vote that Colonel will be the leader. Yeah, I agree. Okay, well, if I do this poll, somebody's going to say no. So I'll start a poll. Would you endorse the Colonel to run the refugee process? There's going to be somebody that says no. Here's the poll. No. There it is. I put the poll up, okay? You guys, I got the poll up. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Well, let's see what happens, okay? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, Professor G's video. So Professor G sent me a message earlier this week, I think it was this week, and he told me that there is now confirmation of one South African asylum case of a refugee getting asylum granted this year. He knows because his firm is handling the case, okay? I didn't want to preempt his email, but his message, because he told me he couldn't do an email until that evening. I said, but do you mind if I do a short to let people know, and I'll refer them to your channel? He said, that's fine. Apparently, he also did a short. I guess he was worried that he still need to do one. So I did a short, and I told people there is a confirmed case of an asylum. A South African got asylum. Now, before you all run off and hop on a plane and fly to America and go, I want asylum. Let's be clear. That's a one-off. That's one case. Also, it's a unique case in that that person's parents, adult parents, had already been part of the 59ers and had resettled in the U.S. as refugees. That doesn't mean if you've got family that come over refugees, you will be accepted as an asylum seeker. There was a lot involved in this case, a lot of different nuances to it. So I caution you, again, one case. Last 13 or 11 South Africans out of 97 or whatever it was got approved, which is actually a pretty high rate, 11. That's like 12%. It's usually like 3%. It's not a path. It's not a path. You can't work for 6 months at a minimum. You have to wait longer than that. Otherwise, you're working illegally. You can be kicked out for doing that. You find yourself, you have to pay thousands of dollars in legal fees. It's not a good idea. How do we endorse you to run the program? Do we contact you? Don't contact me. Oh, who do you contact? Can you imagine the amount of emails? Yeah. You should go tell them when you interviews. It's a shame the Colonel's not running this program. They probably wouldn't like that. There's always somebody that doesn't want me to do it. So anyway, I knew that was coming. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's probably some of my regular viewers. They don't want me to not be here. Is it possible to get some official process to get the Colonel started? I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, guys, it's crazy world, huh? I mean, but as far as all this stuff, guys, you just got to chill, okay? I mean, I know it's easy to say for me to do. I'm here, you're not. I mean, it's just insane. Oh, it's been 3 weeks. Okay, get a grip. I mean, honestly, people have no idea what's involved here. A thorough background investigation must be completed to prove who you are, where you're from, what you're saying is true. That has to take place. There's an administrative process that has to take place. Interviews have to be conducted. Medical screening has to be done. All this stuff takes time. That message brought to you by Baby Wyatt. You can go to the U.S. Embassy website and bomb it. I did catch up. It took a while, Lindy. It took a while, but I did catch up. Baby Wyatt's back. Somebody asked me about making that. There's an app that you download. You pay to do that. Somebody paid to do that for me. Yeah, I love Baby Wyatt too. I'd be cool if I could get some more of those made. Yeah, UCIS official mentioned you before we did. I'm sure they did. Also, some of them were trying to catch me. Some of them are asking, well, did he coach you? What did he tell you to say? I don't tell you to say anything. I've told you one thing. Tell the truth. Be honest. Be honest. There you go. Send Max Miller an email. Yeah. Yeah, I should be a consultant in the program. That'll work. Alex, thanks for that. I voted yes, but only because you organized an experience. I'm not taking responsibility for what you shout at your staff. I don't shout at my staff. Last night, I caught people in the kitchen. JP, thank you for your membership. Called people in the kitchen eating, not in the kitchen, but at the back of the kitchen, they're eating food. And we've had people been stealing food from us, eating meals. And I walked back there and I said, what are you guys doing eating back here? We've talked about this. No one is entitled to a meal unless you work 8 hours, and none of you are working 8 hours. This is a fireable offense. I'm not firing anybody, but seriously, this is just a warning. I walked away. The cook came to me and said, "Hey, Colonel, those girls were a little. I think they're concerned that you chewed them out." I said, well, I didn't really chew them out. I just made a statement. I walked away. He said, "Well, those are wastage. That food, someone didn't want the order. They changed their mind, so it was going to go to waste." I said, "Oh, okay, that's fine. They weren't eating in the preparing area. They're eating back there." I went and found those 3 young ladies, and I said, "Ladies, the cook came to me and told me that I was mistaken, and I didn't yell at you, but I probably left you with a sense of unease, and I'm sorry for that. That was my mistake. That's food that would have gone to waste. That's okay." But and then one girl said, "No, when I eat a meal, I always pay for it." And I said, "I understand. I didn't accuse you of not doing that." All right, so yeah, I don't. I have ripped people's butts, but not for that. Baby Wyatt's a bit of a potty mouth. Yes, he coached me, told me to be honest. There you go, Charles. I will be contacting the embassy for your endorsement, definitely. Okay. Natalie, I didn't see your question. If we have the pre-screening in Joburg and we stay here in Cape Town, we email for reschedule, no replies, what do we do? You're going to have to go to Joburg. I mean, it's not like there's a place for you to go. You can't just go and upset the apple cart. I mean, they schedule these things out. There's no common sense applied there, Nadine, and all I can say is I feel really badly for you. That's horrible. Fly Saf Air is making a lot of money off of refugees. That's for darn sure. They don't even know they're making money off refugees. I watched the video on YouTube yesterday on that channel that interviewed you a while ago called The Conversation with the Human Rights Group who's taking ANC to court. I don't know which one you're talking about, Lindy. No, I mean, I don't treat people poorly. No, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I mean, I didn't have all the facts, but I was doing 3 things at once, and that's why I didn't just start yelling at them, because yelling at them is not going to accomplish anything. Yeah, and in fact, when I fired 2 bartenders recently at the club who showed up to work intoxicated, when I fired them, I didn't even fire them in front of anybody. Neither one was fired in front of anybody. Neither one. It was done privately. Now, there was an incident. There was an altercation, but there was some raised voices because one of the people who was fired walked out and started saying F this and F that and F this place and F this place in front of the entire bar, which had 45 people, and people were like, so I got in front of the person. I told them I didn't use profanity. I said, that's it. Out of the building. My next phone call is a local police station. You are trespassing. You don't work here. Get out of the building. Exit now. And her eyes were like that. No, Dogzilla's not here. He shows up in the evenings usually. If proven going to the U.S., can a person do his or her GED? You can do your GED anytime you want. That's the purpose of it. Doesn't matter. Age is not an issue. I think you do have to pay for GED. Let me take a look. Here. Cost of GED test. Let me see. $41 per person, typically. Per subject. So it'll cost you $144 for all 4 subjects. But refugees might be able to take it for free. I don't know. Do refugees in America take GED? Let me see. Can refugees in the USA take the GED free of charge? Okay. Yes, refugees can take GED tests free for a discount or a discounted price in certain situations, primarily through free preparation classes offered by states and nonprofits. Yeah, so they'll pay for it in many cases. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Vitamin, is that the answer you're looking for? There you go. And somebody just, Mad Max, I see on flight radar, aircraft redirected flying around Venezuela. Oh, maybe because we're about to attack. Maybe we're about to attack Venezuela. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. By the way, my video did make it to 100,000. Thank you all for that. Thank you all for that. But my views have gone down from 205 to 179 to 124 yesterday, and they're going to go down even lower today. Guarantee you. But that's fine. We had a nice surge there. Got back to 2 million views average per month from 1 million. So we doubled it in the past few weeks. That's good. But that one video got 100,000. Yep, we're over 100,000 that one. So in the past, let's see, these, let's go back in this. Yeah, so we got 100,000, 74,000, 74,000, 54,000, 52,000, 49,000. Yeah, so yeah, all of the top 10 have 40,000 more views. And all of them are recent. These are all since every one of these videos is November. That's good news. That's good news. Yeah, but we slowed down on subscribers again. That kind of sucks. Let me see real quick. How are we doing today? Probably not getting many subscribers today. Today we started at 531 and we're 582. So we got 51 subscribers today, which is not great, but that's better than losing subscribers. Yeah, so I answer that question. What if my mom and I cannot travel to Joburg for pre-screening? My mom couldn't travel to Joburg. She has to work during the process, and we were both looking in Cape Town. Nadine, I don't know what to tell you, Nadine. You want to risk going by yourself and say that your mother couldn't make it? We asked you to schedule us in Cape Town. We live in Cape Town. She's got a job. You could try that. I mean, I don't know what it affects her application, but I mean, you're putting me in a possible situation. What kind of advice to give you? Alan voted no. Personal relationship with all his subscribers unfortunately compromised the integrity of the program. No, that's not true. No, that's simple. That's very unfair, Alan. That's very unfair. Very unfair. I do not let personal relationships interfere with anything. Nope. You get treated the same. I treat everybody like crap. Wouldn't worry about it. No, that's unfair. I don't have a personal relationship with my subscribers. That's not true. Nope. Okay. All right. So how many votes do we get? 300 people voted in this thing? Wow. 300 people voted. That's crazy. Federal Aviation Administration warned pilots yesterday to use caution when flying in the airspace. Yep. People are only waking up now and applying. That's another thing, Elon Berserker. Thank you for pointing that out. A lot of people are now applying that weren't applying before, and the freaking program's taken off. Live remote farm. Never got a chance to do my matric, so I'll be doing the GED. There you go, Marshall Eagle. What to do if a mistake was made, an intake questionnaire and already submitted? When they call you, be honest. Make a note of where you made the mistake and tell them. There's nothing you can do. You can't amend it. You can't change it, to my knowledge, once you submit it. Exactly, Charles. I won't even let them stay in my lawn. I won't even let refugees stay in my lawn. You guys know this. You guys know me well. I'm not going to, I honestly, I don't let people stay in my lawn. It's so, yeah, I don't have a special relationship that will cause that. I don't. Stay off my lawn.
It's not a campsite.
No FEMA tents, no late night fights, no refugees, no wild parades. This castle's mine, no renegades.
Hit the road, Jack, don't spin me tail. Your liberty's lost like rusty nails.
Stay off my lawn.
Keep it moving, keep it gone.
No flags, no biltong. No fires, no songs. Sorry, not sorry. Stay off my lawn.
Keep it moving, keep it gone. No flags, no biltong. No fires, no songs. Sorry, not sorry. Stay off my lawn.
My lawn.
Sorry, not sorry. Stay off
my lawn. My lawn.
Drying
Laundry on my hedge fence. Drawing crowds with your nonsense.
This ain't a stage,
it's my domain. Take your drama down the lane.
Pitch a tent where the shadows fall. Not on my grass, not by my wall. No soapbox speeches, no rally
it calls.
This yard's a
Fortress you can't install. Stay off my lawn. Keep it moving, keep it gone. No flags, no biltong. No fires, no songs. Sorry, not sorry. Stay off my lawn.
Keep it moving, keep it gone. No flags, no biltong. No fires, no songs. Sorry, not sorry. Stay off my lawn, my lawn, my lawn. Sorry, not sorry. Stay off my lawn, my lawn.
No bribe rookies because you like onions. No onions in my domain. No refugees. No refugees. Stay off my lawn. Pitch your FEMA tent down the road. I suggest you all go to California, the People's Republic. You'll love it there. Stay off my lawn. Keep it moving, keep it gone. No flags, no biltong.
No fires,
No songs.
sorry, not sorry.
Stay off my lawn.
Keep it moving, keep it gone. No flags, no biltong. No fires, no songs. Sorry, not sorry. Stay off my lawn, my lawn, my lawn. Sorry, not sorry. Off
My lawn, my lawn.
my lawn, my lawn. Sorry, not sorry. Off my lawn, my lawn.
Stay off my lawn. There you go, folks. Stay off my lawn. 40 people left when I did the song. It never fails. The call I had from a church group was for sport. She even asked me if I had any questions for her. Okay, they're the closest place. You're talking about RSC. Okay. As I understand it, you will have to go to clubs or just certain schools to have rugby. Most schools. Hang on. Mr. Kono had a question. Let's go. Where's that question at? Anna Krug gave 35 Rand. Thank you. Any reason to refer back to the intake question after submitting? The link is no longer valid. Dave Delport. Now I'm going to pick on you. You aren't reading the website. There's no reason to go back once you submit it, but if you want to go back, the link is gone because it has a time frame on it. You have to use it in a certain time. The web page says that. There's a little gray box on the top of the page to the right-hand side. It says request a new link if you want to go back and look at it. You can't change it, but you can go back and look at it. So, yep, I'm picking on you, Dave. It says it right there. It's a big box. Request a new link. It tells you, it gives you instructions. People, please read the instructions. Okay, I don't see the question that was related to sports. Somebody said there's most schools don't have a sports team. That's poppycock. Every school has sports. Every school in America has sports. Every school. Basketball, golf teams, tennis teams, swimming teams, track and field, football. And here on the East Coast, many of them also have field hockey. Yep. Is there a place to find out people who have applied? No. No, there's no place to find out. The U.S. government is not sharing that information. No. So, Mr. Chromo, you don't have to go to clubs for schools. No, for sports. Every school has sports. Every school has sports. Mr. Van Blerk, is it book? Is it, apologies, perhaps this question been asked before or covered. If the intake questionnaire has been completely submitted, do we still need to submit some? No. No. The statement of interest is done. How would you even find that now? It's gone. Intake questionnaire is the path now. Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. President Trump will be the president during the FIFA World Cup, the Summer Olympics, the 250th anniversary of America. He's just got an awesome time ahead. If you're working at RC and CF, have no clue about this. Since they sure don't, Charles. Yaman. Okay. I don't want to go to the bank. Just wondering if I should. For what, Dave? I asked about rugby in the U.S. If my son... Oh, rugby. Okay, but then maybe his question was correct. Yeah, but he said no sports. We do have sports, but rugby is not commonly played in America. I didn't have it in high school. It's only in places like California and maybe some place here in Pennsylvania, a few states where they have club. Yeah, he's going to have to go play for a club if he wants to play rugby. Yeah, universities have rugby. Many universities have rugby clubs. Some have varsity rugby. It is becoming bigger. So if he goes to university, but in high school and as a youth, he's going to have to play it He's going to have to play it in a club. That's correct. So I amend my comment, but not entirely. So can we stay in the basement this winter? Nope. What about equestrian sports? No, high schools don't have equestrian sports unless they're a private school or something like that. No one can afford to maintain horses in public schools. Yep. No, we don't have that. But people who do that are people that are wealthy and have horses. Hope to be there for the big 250th. Well, I hope to be here too. No, Professor G and I have not chatted in a couple of days. Private schools in Ohio have rugby. Well, it's private schools, Alex, so I just said private schools. It's laughable that Cyril thinks he will just automatically be 10 next year's G20. Yeah, I mean, after the way he behaved. Never mind the visas. Yep, okay. I WhatsApped you the link. The interviewer was Johan Allers. Oh, yeah, Johan. Thank you, Lindy. That's the I did that earlier this year. Yeah, he's a South African that lives in the Netherlands, and a lot of people don't like him. A lot of people do like him. He told me a lot of people don't like him. I'm divorced. My kids are 15 and 17. They're living with their mother and not included in my application. Should I go? How can I look getting them U.S.? Okay, so what's the point? Let me ask this question. I'm guessing the assumption here on my part there on the move is that your former spouse will not let the kids go with you. If that's a correct assumption. Seems like a fair assumption on my part. Nothing you can do to get them there. When they turn 18, they can apply on their own, right? Regardless of what their mother says. If they want to come to America, they can apply. Assuming the program's still around when they're 18. The one at 17, the program will still be there. The one at 15 might be on the cusp of it. Rugby could be big in America, but only if we have kids playing when they're like 6 years old. That's when it has to start. Daily Coffee Shop has I don't know what that is, a bribe key on the menu. Now getting big in Florida, lots of Southern expats and coaches. Have you discussed the asylum? I did, Joe Texas, and I think he's of the same opinion. This is a one-off case. Let's not get too excited. But then he's an attorney that works in asylum, and that's something his business does. I can coach rugby too, Eli Berserker. Are there indoor pools as the one? Well, Maze, we have indoor pools everywhere. Everywhere we have indoor pools. Yep. Your case file on RC stays active for only 6 months. I have no idea what you're talking about there, Pedro Luna. What are you talking about? I don't know the insides of RC. Do you work for RC Africa? Can you confirm that? I don't know what that's about. Let me just check and see if my football game is over. Oh, crap. They closed the gap. It's 20-17 now. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. The Colts are barely hanging on. They could lose this game. They could lose this game to Patrick Mahomes. That's not good. That's not good. Wow. Colts relying on the pass. They're going to die by the pass. Currently can't get Jonathan Taylor breaking out. Cousin Livio, sorry, does the program place you close? Okay, Mr. Chromo, you are obviously new to the program because this is something that's been addressed since the very beginning. No, the program will put you where we have availability. However, if your needs match the needs of the program and the availability of the program, then it's possible. Yes, they will make every effort to put you in a place near, but a cousin's an odd situation. Usually a family member, a parent, or a sibling they'll put you near. You can tell them that when you're interviewed about placement. You know, your cousin lives in New Jersey and you want to live near your cousin. They'll contact, by the way, you have to give contact information. They will contact that person. So I had someone here who says, my daughter lives near Atlanta. I want to live with my daughter. Can I go there? You can ask. And then when the program calls up and goes, hello, this is Myron Dexter from the U.S. Customs and Immigration Service. Your mother has applied for refugee status in America, and we're going to approve her coming to the States. However, she said she'd like to live with her daughter. And on the other end is the daughter. My folk Marlies, no, I don't want my mother anywhere near me. Well, then you're not going to go there. All right, they're going to call the person. You have to give them contact information, okay? You can ask to be placed near anybody you want. If you have a job in America, if you work remotely in South Africa for an American company and they want to hire you in here in America and say the job is in Austin, Texas, working for Dell Computers, and you're working for Dell in South Africa, and Dell agrees and gives you a letter of offer of employment, you can show that and go, I have an offer of employment in Austin, Texas. They're going to call Dell Computer. Did you really offer this person employment? Okay. Well, we have refugee assistance in Austin, Texas. Guess what? You're going to Austin, Texas. Okay. You can ask. You can ask. But you got to tell people. They don't know. They don't know. Otherwise, they're going to put you in freaking Montana or Arizona or Florida or Texas or Iowa. You're going to go where they go. Why do people want Alabama? It sucks. I don't get this Alabama love affair. Song sent to you a while ago. Colonel wanted to use a song. Huh? Okay, I don't understand. There was a song sent to me a while ago. I wanted to use a song. Who are you telling? You telling me? I don't know which one you're talking about. I get sent dozens of songs. If the U.S. concentrates and focuses on hard on rugby, they can. Of course, we can do anything. Met you at Thunder Gun. We spoke one side of the parking lot regarding my situation. Vaguely, Liberty's beckon. I think yours is one of those unique cases that we had to deal with. It is humid in Alabama. Yeah, it's horribly hot. Ugh. So let me just tell you this, okay? Let me tell you something very quickly here. Very clear about this. I'm going to tell you that the South Africans who want to be in this program aren't racist. Do you know why I know they're not racist? Do you want to know the Afrikaners in this program aren't racist? I'm going to tell you why. Do you want to know why? I'm going to tell you exactly why in just a moment. You guys, okay, so... okay, let me tell you why they're not racist, okay? Let me tell you why. Do you know why? Anybody know why? Do you know why the Afrikaners in this program aren't racist? They want to go to Alabama? Do you know why? You do realize that Alabama has twice as many black people as a percentage of the population of the rest of America, right? So if the Afrikaners are racist, why would they want to go where there's twice as many black people as the rest of the country? So we've confirmed it tonight. So many people come here. I want to go to Alabama. I want to go to Alabama. I want to go to Alabama. I'm like, okay, all right. Well, you must not be a racist because there's twice as many black people there as there are in the rest of America. Yes, there'll be a shutdown at the end of January. I've already said this since before they even approved the damn thing. The food is yummy in Alabama, if you say so. And if you throw in multiracial and Hispanic and Asian, 32, 33, 37% of the state is non-white. 1 out of 3 people, over 1 out of 3 people is not white. So if you're a racist, Alabama's not where you want to go. Oh, that's a tough situation, Afrikaan. It shows you the program screwed up. People don't know what they're doing. One hand doesn't know what the other one's doing. I don't know what to recommend for you. I've had medicals done 2 weeks ago. What are the chances of being rejected? Okay, well, Michelle, I don't know. What are your medicals? Do you have a communicable disease? Do you have active tuberculosis? Are you a criminal? Have you committed human rights abuses? I mean, I can't answer a question like that. I don't know what your background check says. They didn't attend the first dates because of the other priorities and are now worried they won't receive mail to confirm new dates. I want to go there for trade purposes. Percentage of black people is irrelevant. Exactly, Francois. It just shows that these Afrikaners aren't racist. It just shows they aren't racist. Should they go because no mail confirmation of address? What? I don't know what the TM Afrikaner. You're asking me questions. I didn't see their email. I don't know what the email says. Their first email. No, I don't think filibuster is going to go away. Republicans are resisting it. Witchcraft. Eastern Cape, Florida, Alabama, South Carolina. Humid. All right, that's it, guys. We're going to wrap it up here, okay? All right? Yep. All right, fair enough. Okay, I hope I answered everybody's questions today as best I could. I appreciate being here. Pre-screen questions on the initial phone call. What kind of questions will they be asking? They're going to ask you who you are. They're going to ask you about, your fear of persecution. They're going to ask you about fear of persecution. How many people in your family? Are you submitting a family group? All kinds of questions. Well, I mean, you're going to ask you questions. You're going to answer them. You can't prepare for it. All right? North Carolina, some people like it. Do you know what the salary for car guard in Florida is? Yeah, it's not enough. Car guards don't make enough money. That's funny. That's funny. Just be honest. All right, you guys, take care. Thanks. I'm going to make a video about that thing. Jonathan, if you're still here, or whatever his name is, I'm not going to mention you, obviously. Medicals in the morning, so last of the approval things needed. I'm sure that it's not that bad here, there, like 86% people are maybe scared of the culture shock. I don't know what's culture shock you're scared of, guys. It's not like you're moving to Nepal. Thank you, Super Dave. I told them to go anyway for the original. Yeah, that's what my recommendation would have been. But I don't. People are asking me all kinds of things. Going to be bent out of shape on me because someone else screwed up. I can't help that. Well, thank you, friends. Rulis, appreciate it. Mark, you're very welcome. Okay. Been a great guest. Yeah, we try to have fun with it if we can. Anyway, nobody should take offense because no offense was intended in this program. If you're offended, then maybe you're just a Karen. All right, guys, take care. All right, be well. That's going to do it for this one. I need to take a break. It's been a long day. All right. Between this and the Veterans Organization, I've got other stuff to do now. So I do need to make a couple videos. Thanks, everybody. Cheers. God bless, and be well.